And the only way to influence them is with SEO. Let's talk about how to do that. It turns out that SEO is a very simple process, but one that's challenging to execute well. Today I'm going to walk through some of these basics of how you do SEO and get your pages into the search engine's indices and give them the ability to rank as well as they possibly can. So first, we're going to start at the base of the SEO best practices pyramid with content and accessibility. It turns out that pretty obviously, if you don't have content on your website, content search engines can read, which 99% of the time means text content or hopefully images with attributes about them or video or audio content that have some text associated as well. If you don't have that content and have pages that the search engines can actually reach with their spiders, you're going to be in trouble. Right? So here's Googlebot. He's coming along and he can reach all these pages, but if there's outlying pages down here that maybe no one's linked to, or they've been blocked with something like robots.txt, or they've told the search engines to no index those pages, or the content on those pages doesn't appear by default. It only shows to logged in users. It only shows when you have JavaScript enabled. It only shows when you've inputted some form fields. Search engines can't do that, right? The spiders don't have the ability to get through those sort of walls to accessibility. And so it's really important to make that great content accessible to the search engines. That's your first step. From there, we're going to move on to some keyword research and targeting. Now, this one gets a little bit trickier because not only do you have to produce the content and make it accessible, but you also have to have that content targeting things that people are actually searching for on the web. Right? If you've got a great page all about running shoes, but you describe them as fast-moving footwear, turns out that the search engines and humans as well are going to be very unlikely to determine that your page is relevant and to want to click it even if they do see it in the search results. For this reason, it's important to use tools. Google maintains several with their AdWords program. Bing also has some. There's some third-party tools that you can use to do this types of keyword research. And they'll show you when you input keywords some expansions of those phrases and tell you how many times people are looking for them. So I can see that running shoes was searched for 425,000 times, or that's the search engine's estimate anyway, 425,000 times last month in the United States. And those estimates can help give me a sense of, I can see that football shoes are particularly popular. One thing you do want to be aware of is that these numbers do change. So you're going to want to regularly make sure you're updating your information as trends change and people do searches differently, new types of products and services become of interest to searchers, and old ones fade out. For example, football shoes is probably really popular because this month, while we're filming this, it's August. And in August, a lot of people are thinking about football season for their kids in college, for high school athletes, all those kinds of things. Next month, 2 months from now, 4 months from now, the popularity might go down. And so you want to keep track of that. Once you've got the content that you need, you've made it accessible to search engines, and you've done your keyword research and put those words on the pages in the right kinds of ways, you're ready to move on to link popularity. And it turns out that when search results get competitive, when there's a lot of people trying to all rank for the same searches, which really happens when these popular, important searches that have high commercial value come into play, things like running shoes, you're going to see that links are the main item that helps you push over the edge and get to the top of the results. If you have more people linking to you, better people linking to you, people linking to you with the right kinds of words, for example, if I'm trying to rank for running shoes, it would really be helpful if this link right in here said running shoes, right? And then pointed that link, make it underlined, right to my web page. That tells the search engines not only is this page voting for this page as a good resource, but it's saying this page is a really good resource about running shoes. This is much better than if they use something like click here, right? We don't want that. That's no good. So this link popularity, the search engines have lots and lots of different metrics that they calculate about links. And in fact, they do a ton of work to make sure that they're not counting links from bad places, spammy places, manipulative places. So if you get lots of offers saying, oh, you can boost your rankings in 10 minutes just by paying us $50 and getting listed in 5,000 directories or these kinds of things, those offers tend to be pretty shady. If they sound too good to be true, most likely they are. What you want to do for link popularity is produce good content that people will want to link to, find good ways to market that content, and get the word out there about not only your brand, but the things on your website, so that people will naturally want to vote and link for to those pages. The last piece in the puzzle, and by extension actually the smallest piece of the puzzle currently for search engines, is social media signals. So it turns out that the search engines, Google and Bing both have made deals with services like Twitter. Gmail obviously is controlled by Google, and Bing has all the relationships that the Microsoft suite of products, things like MSN and Hotmail and those kinds of things. And Microsoft also has an investment in Facebook, which may give them some access to data there. As these social sharing services provide information about the web's link graph, about what's popular and important, what people are sharing, what they're liking, what they're giving a thumbs up to on something like a stumble upon, or sharing with their friends on Facebook or tweeting about, those signals make their way into the search engines as well. We're still in the early stages of how search engines treat that data, but it's a good bet that in the future it'll become more important. And that's why it's critical to make sure that as you're doing great SEO, you're also thinking about, hey, how can I make my content, my website, relevant and valuable to people on these social platforms? All right, I think now that you've got this pyramid down, you are ready to dive deeper. I will say we have barely scratched the surface here in terms of the best practices, what needs to be done, but we've given a good idea and a good overview. From here, I encourage you to check out our Beginner's Guide to SEO. The Beginner's Guide is located on the Learn SEO page. You can search for SEO Guide and find it in Google. There's a ton of deep information in there, lots of good resources and links. Urge you to check it out, and hopefully we'll see you in the exciting world of SEO. Take care.